Not everything, also, putting my calendar to where I see every location, understand what's on the post for you. Also reach out to Grant updates.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
There's several things I would like to go over on the grants. I'll go through the routine information and then make one statement. And then I would like to address the court about some other issues on grants. I would prefer to do it after the rest of your agenda items between the time you do that and go into executive session so as not to disrupt everything, if I may. Okay, Operation Lone Star Grant 4376203, the financial status for November was submitted 19 December. The total amount received was $166,329.28. Payment was received 6 January. The Operation Lone Star financial status report for December was submitted in January. It was for over $161,000. The FSR was returned and is currently on hold. Our audit results, we received the pending findings and we've responded to those findings. Ms. Jones sent in the response on 31 January. We're waiting for information on that. Stone Garden Grant, the current Stone Garden Grant, the financial status for December 24 was submitted in January. We received $139,215.02. The School Resource Officer Grant 4811502. The financial status report was submitted for October, November, and December. That was submitted in January. The reason being the grant, even though it began officially the 1st of October, we weren't awarded until sometime in November or December. The amount we received on that was $21,523.20, and that payment has been received. Bullet resistant shield program, those are for shields, body shields, not body armor. I am still waiting for quotes to finalize the purchase of that. Local border security program, LBSP, we received the $43,025, and that will be used towards the purchase of a vehicle. Sheriff Co discussed that in last month's meeting. We're waiting for an estimate on 2 vehicles, possibly 3, to get quotes on how much they will take for trade-in or how much they will give us for trade-in on those vehicles. So, but the total price of the vehicle, a Tahoe is approximately $76,000, a little over $76,000, and a truck is $71,000. So there's a $5,000 difference in those. Those are police pursuit vehicles that have all the equipment in them. We get those from Defender Supply, and I believe it's in Whitesboro, Texas. Grant applications pending. The School Resource Officer grant has been submitted. There are the Criminal Justice Division grant, LBSP, that we use for School Resource Officer, that's been submitted. Local Border Security Program, there will not be a grant this year. Anything that needs to go into that grant will also be included in the OLS grant that I'm currently working on. The due date to have that grant in is 13 March. My date that I set for myself to get it in is 1 March. So that gives me an extra week to make sure everything is completed and submitted on that grant. There are a couple other grants out there that I'm looking at. One is the Homeland Security Law Enforcement Terrorism Protection Grant. That is how we got the vehicle for our K9 SWAT team / K9 several years ago. So that one may also be applied for. And the last thing on here is the grant financial status reports. The grant manager, I coordinate. I was told, or a comment was stated, that they did not know how I came up with anything that I submitted on the grants. I coordinate with the treasurer for all grant payroll information. I coordinate with the auditor's office to get the vendor report for what is being submitted every single month. There is nothing being submitted that hasn't went through the auditor's office and or the treasurer's office for payroll. So those are the reports that I use in order to submit my financial status reports, or I have in the past submitted financial status reports. That apparently has changed as of the 27th of this month, or the 27th of January. Nothing is submitted on a financial status report that is not pre-approved by those two offices and sent in. There is no way to file for anything to get money back into this county if it's not on a pre-approved budget line that has been approved by the state. So if somebody submits a purchase order to buy comic books, for example, I'm just throwing something out there, comic book, no, you can't get the money back. It will not be filed for. So the time that I have handled these grants since the inception of OLS in 2021, I have not filed anything that was not authorized. The approved budget line items in the grant, the items, nothing is being purchased that has not been pre-approved by the state. And I just wanted to make that clear. And then after the agenda, I would like to address several other items pertaining to the grants. Thank you.
Thank you. Indigent healthcare. You have a report attached there. County Judge's Office, the funds that we've taken in for the month of January, all of them had to do with the reserving the community center. Just so the piece that really I submitted a report for you for her month of January. Library submitted their monthly report for January. Road and Bridge monthly report. Sheriff's report. Sheriff Coe.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. The month of January. Last night we had our first smuggling load in 41 days. I went back, so far checked all the stats back to 2019. 41 days is the longest we've been without a smuggling load. So everything that Trump has in place, the governor has in place, and we've been doing, I think seems to be working. Even our dope cases are down. We only had 2 dope cases last month. So everything seems to be on that end working. We served 27 warrants. Out of the 27 we served, all 27 were Operation Lone Star warrants. Out at Geo, there's 420 in-house. Of those, 101 are gang members, which is common for a facility like that. We have 7 county prisoners, 4 male, 3 female, 4 of them are local. And even our Lone Star prisoners are down to 68. statewide. We had the meeting, the judge was on that first net deal. I think that was a pretty good briefing that they gave us on the first net capabilities on our cell phone stuff. What do you think, Judge? Pretty good?
Yeah.
We've been getting quite a few calls. Of course, I know the baby boomer generation is getting older. We've been getting quite a few calls here recently on Alzheimer's and dementia people up on the fort. Of course, that's where our biggest part of our elderly people are living right now, because up on the fort. I think maybe we need to sit down and talk, maybe get some more advice from Adult Protective Services on how to handle them, because MHMR will not touch anybody that's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia. So with that being said, I don't even know where I'm going to reach out to MHMR, to Adult Protective Services, and see if we get something set up. I probably need to go through Indigent Healthcare, get a couple of y'all involved. The nutrition center they deal with it the most. See where we need to go, because a lot of them some of them have funds to handle it, a lot of them don't. I mean, I'm at a loss. How do we handle it? I mean, it's getting worse and worse. So I just wanted to put y'all on board on that. Big city of Spofford, they're getting out of control. The judge was at the last meeting they had down there, and they're like a bunch of kindergarten kids wanting to argue over what color's what and who gets what. They want me to send somebody down there every meeting to keep them under control. But as every meeting that I've seen, every meeting that I've been to, it's just arguing back and forth. Nothing's physical, nothing really, it's just freedom of speech stuff. So if they reach out to y'all, I am at that crossroads. Do I send somebody or do I not send somebody? They hadn't gotten physical, nothing's being thrown, no threats are being made. It's just arguing over basically what. So any comments, suggestions, I'm all ears. So I'll keep y'all posted with what's going on down there. But the judge, the witness, they just want to rant and rave. They just, this side doesn't like this side doesn't like this side. They're just looking for an argument. So it all started over staples on the bulletin board. It's gone to so-and-so's used 25 gallons more water than they should have, et cetera, et cetera. So any questions, comments? All right. On the Peterson bill, I think I sent Judge a note. I sent Commissioner Ward a note. Reached out to that company over that we talked to over in Houston. Got to set up a Zoom meeting. If you can get the architect, give me his email. I'll get him on board. He just wants to get some more information, nothing in writing or cost-wise. He just wants to see what we're looking at. It's better to do it via Zoom than just conversing back and forth on email. Got that set up for 4:00 if we can make that. Other than that, okay.
Thanks, Sheriff. Tax assessor this morning. Nobody. Treasurer's office. All right, that'll wrap up item 3 this morning. Departmental reports. We'll get into our action item, discussion items. 4A this morning, discuss, approve, accept Texas Parks and Wildlife Local Parks Grant for baseball parks and appoint the county judge as the authorized official for the grant. Mr. Harris.
Good morning, everyone. Just as the judge read it, we just need to go ahead and accept that grant and appoint him as the authorized official in the system.
Entertain a motion. So moved by Commissioner Parrott. Second by Commissioner Chicago. Any further discussion? $747,000, $747,448.
You are good.
The matching grant.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. 100%.
We've had some interesting income.
Yeah, we're gonna have to seek some in-kind donations and stuff. The initial proposal from Hillis Recreational Parks or whatever it's called.
Hellis Construction.
Hillis Construction. Remember, it was about 2.2 million to do 2 fields, concession stand, the parking lot, and synthetic turf stuff and everything like that in the line. lighting was about $400,000. Pretty significant cost, but we will see. Brent Smith's been working on some contacts. I've reached out to a few folks. Bobby Patton, who has the Burr Ranch and everything in Lonesome Hill out here, actually sits on the board for the Texas Parks and Wildlife. So I had a good visit with him the other day when I was in Austin. He was at the meeting and stuff. But yes, we'll have to, once we get our ducks in a row and kind of start the process, form a committee and so forth like that, start those steps, then kind of have a better idea of what our in-kind donations are. Because we have agreed, you, the commissioners, have agreed to max that $750 because that was our application for $750. And so we have that budgeted in the plan, but to do the whole thing and be done with the whole entire project at one time in one city, we're looking at about $1 million. So,
And we have a meeting with the judge and the attorney tomorrow morning.
yes. All right, any further discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. 4B this morning is to receive and review open proposals received for plan development for the OOG cybersecurity grant. The contractor will be responsible for developing the cybersecurity plan for Kinney County, as well as policies and procedures that will be implemented once the plan is approved by commission.
And Judge, if we can go ahead and pause there, we'd like to table this.
Okay.
We neglected to include the requirement of a SAM clearance. So even though this is a state local grant program, the funds are federal funds. So if it's more than 50,000 that we negotiate with the plan developer, then they must be SAM cleared. And so we will go ahead and repost and solicit proposals.
So Sam cleared position.
Yes, sir.
Okay, repost.
Because
Okay.
it's more than likely they will be getting more than 50,000. So
Yeah.
we just want to be on the safe side. So let's repost and let's table B and C for
To be determined.
Mhm.
Date.
to be determined. Correct.
Entertain a motion to table item B this morning to date to be determined. So moved. So moved by Commissioner Ward. Okay. Second by Commissioner Dotson. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So that takes care of that one. 4C this morning. Award accept contract for plan development to create the action plan and policies, procedures for cybersecurity. That's going to be tabled as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so entertain a motion to table item C this morning as presented. Is it a date to be determined? So moved by Commissioner Matavo, second by Commissioner Ferret. Any further discussion on 4C this morning? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried unanimously. 4D this morning is approve and disapprove a resolution for the submission of a grant application to the Office of Government Cybersecurity. So we're going to table that one as well.
No, sir.
No?
No.
No.
So that is, so remember we were granted 130,000 for cybersecurity for the planning.
Yes.
And so this second cycle is for cybersecurity assessment and evaluation. And so assessing all of our infrastructure and our vulnerabilities to a cyber attack. So we would go ahead and like to submit this application.
All right, so 4D this morning is to approve a resolution for the submission of grant application to the Office of the Governor for Cybersecurity Assessment and Evaluation Grant. So moved. So moved by Commissioner Johnson, second by Commissioner Ward. I have it right here in front of me. Okay, will it need all our signatures at the bottom?
No, I think it's just one, just your signature.
Okay. Says the Kinney, whereas Kinney County finds the best interest of the citizens of Kinney County, Texas, that the state and local cybersecurity grant program for objection to assessment and evaluation projects be operated for the 2026 fiscal year. And whereas Kinney County agrees to provide applicable matching funds for the said project as required by the Department of Homeland Security through the Office of the Governor of Texas grant application. And whereas Kinney County agrees that in the event of loss or misuse of the Office of the Governor's funds, Kinney County, Texas assures that the funds will be returned to the Office of the Governor in full. Whereas Kinney County designates the county judge as the grantee's authorized official, the authorized official is given the power to apply for, accept, reject, alter, or terminate the grant on behalf of the applicant agency. Now therefore be it resolved, Kinney County, Texas approves submission for the grant application to the state and local cybersecurity grant program for objective 2 assessment and evaluation project to the Office of the Governor, signed by me, approved on passed on this date, February 10th, 2025. We have a motion by Commissioner Dotson and a second by Commissioner Ward. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you. And I do have some grant updates. Is that okay?
Yes,
At
ma'am.
this time? Okay, we are working with the Nueces River Authority on the Colonia planning and assessment, and we're taking each colonia. We have 5 that are identified. We have the Kinney County Rancho Estates, Macy Road, the city of Brackettville, the city of Spofford, and Inbar. And so we're taking each colonia and we're sitting with them, talking to NRA about their stats and the information that they've gathered on each one of those colonias. LCRA grant has been, we closed that one out. The Methodist Healthcare Ministry for the library, that's been closed out. West El Paso Street, Mr. Dirksen has to come and approve the drainage work that was done at the corner of Beaumont and West El Paso. So we're waiting on that. USDA for the skid steer and the ambulance, we have to secure a balance sheet, and we have not done that through the auditor's office. So we're waiting on that. The generator project, we're taking those 2 generators to MUD and the city for their approval. And we are needing a single audit for the generator project so that they can release those funds and we start drawing them. The TxDOT economic development, the economically disadvantaged county program, they are reviewing some information that we submitted. We have not completed the application because they were wondering about Mud Creek. So we have how many residents out there, Mr. Montalvo, off of Mud Creek?
I have no idea.
Plenty.
Done a bunch.
And so they're driving up onto Highway 90 and they're making some pretty unsafe conditions for Highway 90. So TxDOT is reviewing that. They will let us know when to complete the application based on the review of Mud Creek. Mud Creek and Las Moras Road, just to have those regraded and a seal coat will be nearly 1.8 million. And so they're waiting to see what we're going to do with Mud Creek and to see if they will invite us to apply for that program. Okay, so that's just an update. The AFG, the Assistance to Firefighter Grant, we submitted 2 applications, one for the fire department and one for EMS. The update is that they had over 7,000 applications. They're reviewing at this time, but we'll see how that goes. Cybersecurity, the one that we did secure for 130,000, we have some funds on hold, and that's because we are needing our IT department, Mr. Potts, to complete a survey on there, and then they will release those funds. And I just want to let you know that the city of Brackettville did secure a Safe Streets for All grants. And so if you see engineers putting up cones by the school district, we selected 2 demonstration projects. And so they're going to come out and set all of that out just to get some statistics that will help us pursue funding for more street improvements. And then also the CDBG, we are in the process of hiring an engineering firm so that they can help us with that street improvement application through the Texas Department of Agriculture. Any questions?
Now, this was Spofford's turn for the Colonial. They rotated out in the city, but the city of Bracketville was able to.
Correct.
We're not gonna skip it here.
Correct.
Okay,
They were advised not to apply.
okay.
And this is 750,000, not 500,000. This is 750,000. Application due in June. So we're in the process.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Anything else for? No, ma'am.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Item E this morning. This is why I drank my coffee. Discuss action, review, and access the 2025 recorded Texas historic landmark properties in Kinney County. I'll turn this over to Ms. Moore.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
You have that report in front of you. This year we did a little different in the past. Normally, Sandy Herman and I do the report and the review. This year, because we have more members, 6 members asked to be on the evaluation committee. So Sandy and I and the group, we did the walkthrough through all the properties. Sandy and I prepared the report, but it was that group of 6 members that actually did the rating. So they reviewed what we presented on the report, and they confirmed and agreed to the findings. And what's really nice that 21 properties as opposed to last year 17, so 4 properties did improvements based on our suggestions. So that's good. So any questions from you?
I hear complaints, people that people on the historical commission are not knowledgeable of buildings and stuff like that, and they're not making a thorough inspection of the building. They would like to have somebody that has knowledge on building and stuff like this on that committee to submit a report that knows what they're talking. I hear the complaints about that.
Well, I hear complaints too, because we've been doing it for many years. And last year was when the complaints started. And in my opinion, it was based on they didn't agree with the rating on their particular properties. But if you were to do an inspection yourself of any of the properties that we rate on, a lot of them needed a lot of work. And of course, we do the best that we can. And that's why I changed it a little bit. The committee was the one that actually did the rating. We presented the information and they looked at the same thing that we're doing. And yes, I agree, maybe we should get a certified inspector to do that. But of course, we've been doing it for free.
Oh, yeah.
Sandy and I do it on our time. We spend our gas, we're running around. And if there's a recommendation for someone else to do it, okay, they can knock themselves out because it is a lot of work. But yes, and again, I encourage you to look at some of these properties. Some of them have been neglected, but I'm glad 4 of them did take steps to improve or make them improvements. Any questions?
So the 32 properties were that are classified historical,
21.
5 failed,
Yes, sir.
so it's about 15% of.
Yes, and they are the same properties that failed last year. They made no improvements at all.
Sure.
They need a lot of them. And in fact, the 4 that improved, there are on that report, there's one property owner, he listed all the items, it's on email. that he was working on. And Fort Clark Association included their report that was submitted by the Preservation Committee. And they did significant work. They're still working on two of the buildings, but they've done a lot of improvements. And because of that, the committee gave them a pass. So they're getting the full 25% exemption.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Well, it is a lot of work. There's a lot of properties to look at.
Mhm.
Takes a lot of time. We appreciate all the efforts that are made to.
Well, we enjoy it actually. Um, and I think the committee realized that, I mean, they confirmed the report and they walked with us the entire time. So they saw, buildings close up. And as you know, Tim, any old building, you gotta stay on top of it. Well, any property, you gotta stay on top of it. Once you let it go, it's more expensive to fix the building. So,
All right, entertain a motion to accept the report as presented from the Historical Commission. So moved by Commissioner Dodson, second by Commissioner Pavlo. Any further discussion?
thank you, gentlemen. I will be presenting this to the school board, the next, school board meeting. And then once that's been approved by them, then we'll be delivering it to the president's office.
Okay.
And at that time, all the property owners will be, given a copy of their property, report. All right, thank you.
All those in favor of the motion say aye. All those opposed, same sign.
I'll abstain, Judge.
Motion carries.
I have one property on my list.
Okay, noting that Commissioner Ward abstained. He is the owner of one of the properties. All right, moving along, we have quorum this morning to discuss and approve the renew the countywide burn ban order for Kinney County. Burn ban order dated February 10th, 2025. This just reinstates our burn ban, keep it in order, keep it going. This will expire May the 11th, 2025. I'll entertain a motion at this time. So moved by Commissioner Ferret, second by Commissioner Pavlo. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item G this morning is discuss and approve grant resolution and others. Criminal Justice Program, King County Sheriff's Office School Resource Officer Grant number 4811503 and Operation Lone Star Grant number 4376204. Simply is a resolution to whereas the Kinney County Commissioners Court finds the best interest of the citizens of the county that Operation Lone Star Grant 4376204 be operated for the period of September 1, 2025 through August 31st of 2026. The Kinney County Commissioners Court understands that there's no matching fund requirement for this said period, whereas the Kinney County Court agrees in the event of loss or misuse of state funds, Kinney County District funds will be returned to the state of Texas in full. And whereas the Kinney County Commissioners Court designates John Paul Schuster as a grantee's authorized official, the authorized official is given the power to apply for, accept, reject, alter, or terminate the grant on behalf of Kinney County. Now therefore be resolved, the Kinney County Commissioners Court approves submission of the application of the Operation Lone Star Grant Office of the Governor, passed and adopted on this date, signed by all of us. And then the second one there, resolution, is a school resource officer. And it reads, whereas the Kinney County Commissioners Court finds in the best interest of the citizens of Kinney County that the Office of the Governor Criminal Justice Program, KCSO School Resource Officer Grant number 4811503 be operated for the period of October 1, 2025 through September 30th of 2026. Whereas the Kinney County Commissioners Court understands there's no matching fund requirement for the said project grant. Whereas the Kinney County Court agrees that in the event of loss or misuse of the Office of the Governor funds, Kinney County assures funds will be returned to the Office of the Governor in full. Whereas Kinney County Commissioners Court designates Judge John Paul Schuster as the grantee's authorized official. The authorized official is given the power to apply for, accept, reject, alter, or terminate the grant on behalf of Kinney County. Now therefore be it resolved that Kinney County Commissioners Court approves submission of the application of the Office of the Governor Criminal Justice Program, KCSO School Resource Officer Grant, dated today's date. Entertain a motion to approve item G.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Farrell. Any further discussion on these two resolutions for the upcoming grants for school resource officer and OLS funds for the next year? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. I'll take care of GH this morning. Discuss and approve emergency bonding company employee surety bond with Kinney County Clerk's office. We have one to approve this morning. This bond is for Sandra Salazar.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Johnson, second by
Second.
Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion on item H? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried unanimously. This morning discuss and approve the following policy required by the Texas Commission of Law Enforcement, Personnel Files, Hiring Procedures, and Misconduct Allegations. T code policies. Sheriff, you want to address these for us?
Basically, these are three new policies required by PCOL that have to be approved and submitted to them by March 1st.
All right. And on the personnel files, it's just
Basically, I think what they are is just an update from 1987.
it has to deal with personnel hiring procedures and misconduct.
And misconduct allegations.
Now, will these go in? Do these need to be placed in our?
No, these are strictly for law enforcement. They'll be placed in my policy book over there. I have to get these submitted back to PCOL by March 1st.
Any questions for Brother I this morning? Personnel files, hiring procedures, and misconduct allegations. TCO policies. I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented. So moved by Commissioner Fair, second by Commissioner Tavo. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Item J this morning, discuss and approve the adoption of certain revisions in Kinney County's camera policy. Brent, you want to?
The commissioners, y'all requested some updated to verbiage to our policy to address certain situations, so I just added a specific paragraph to the existing policy that was passed about a year ago. And anyway, if y'all approve of the verbiage, we can adopt it today. If not, I can revise it if it's something y'all want.
You had this whole board.
I think it's probably one paragraph. Yeah, I believe so. Really, the policy is based on constitutional laws on reasonable right to privacy for employees, businesses, and whatnot. So I didn't go through and cite the cases, but I can be more willing to show y'all the constitutional Supreme Court cases and a couple of state cases.
We have a policy on this.
Yes, sir. We have a policy that was about a year ago, and this adds just one paragraph to it.
Which paragraph is that, Brent?
I think so. Last one there.
You and sure.
Yeah, to ensure the county employees have reasonable.
Is that a reason to add this?
Yes, we do.
So moved on understand. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Duffin, second by Commissioner Fair. Any further discussion? Item J. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, this morning, discussion of approved county policy for burial of paupers and unclaimed persons with no survivors. As you know, I've been working on this one for a while. I believe I have it pretty well drafted and whatnot. I did use look about 3 other counties that they had and everything. Visited with it with Brent and everything, discuss and whatnot. But it's for us going forward, it would be someone came to the county for indigent burial. It would be cremation. I've reached out to Hillcrest Funeral Home and Sunset Funeral Homes. Both of them have submitted to the court their cost for unclaimed or unidentified charges in an agreement for eligible indigent burials and so forth. It includes transportation for autopsies to and from Travis County, pauper's casket, transportation to the grave, and so forth like that. I was kind of shocked. They're both like one of the unclaimed, unidentified body. Those charges to and from transportation, body bag, pauper's casket, poppers, casket, transportation to grave site, open and close grave. Sunset Funeral Home was $1,700, and Hillcrest Memorial Funeral Home was $1,695. So we could put them on our in a rotation there to say to try to use. And then on their eligible indigent burial, the body bag cremations remains to be picked up by the next legal of kin. One of them was Sunset Funeral Home's $895, and Hillcrest is $995. So we'll put these in our file and go by these as we go forward, and so forth. The whole thing's about 6 pages long, but I think we got it pretty well worked out and ironed out going forward now. And of course, our indigent qualification is the same as indigent healthcare and so forth like that. Any questions regarding that I might can answer for you? Motion made by Commissioner Fair, second by Commissioner Dodson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carried unanimously. I'll hand this around for signatures. Item L this morning is discuss and approve agreement with Hillcrest Memorial Home on Claiming. Just talked about those. The other ones. Again, for Hillcrest Memorial Funeral Home. Transportation to and from Travis County, $400 each way. Body bags $100. Office casket transportation grave, open and closed grave, $795 for a total of $1,695. Hillcrest Memorial Funeral Home, eligible indigent burial charges with no autopsy is ordered. Body bag 100, cremations only, remains to be picked up by legal next of kin, $895, and that total is $995. Entertain a motion to accept this.
So moved.
Proposals, Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Matavo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. Then back to Sunset Funeral Home this morning. Same deal, to and from Travis County. It's $300 both ways. Body bags 100. Paupers, caskets, transportation to the grave site, open and close grave 1,000. So that total with autopsy ordered there would be $1,700. And then the eligible indigent burial charges with no autopsy ordered. And body bag cremation only, remains to be picked up by next legal of kin for a total of $895. Motion made by Commissioner Ferrick, second by Commissioner Matavo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. All right, item one this morning. Discuss and approve award the bank depository contract to the bank and trust. Further recommendation of county auditor, county treasurer, and authorize county judge to sign all necessary contracts. So moved by Commissioner Matavo, second by Commissioner Dodson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Item O this morning is discuss approve the award contract for external auditor and authorize county judge to sign agreement letter. Recommendation by the auditor is Costos and Associates, PC, based on cost and experience with smaller counties. Michelle, I'll let you.
Yes, we got 3 external bids, one from Patillo, Brown and Hill. It was $56,000, which is an unnecessary cost for a county this size. We got a bid from Eads. Again, they came in at 33,000. My understanding was their work from prior years wasn't the court wasn't necessarily happy with. I don't know, that's is a little bit of hearsay. I've seen the report. It's not horrible. It's not the best. Cascos and Associates, they have a much larger team. Their cost is 30,000, and they have a lot more counties that have GFOA awards, which makes the county look a lot better for overall financial status and grants and things like that. So my recommendation is Cascos and Associates. It was started by Carlos Cascos, who's been a former Secretary of State of Texas as well, and CPA. And while he passed, his training and his partners are still there, and they do a great job.
Good. Any further questions regarding O this morning on awarding contract for external auditor to Costco's and Associates PC in the amount of $30,000? What do we have budgeted for that?
30,000.
How much?
30,000, and that's what was spent last year. I entertain a motion to approve item O this morning. So moved by Commissioner Fair,
Second.
second by Commissioner Toggle. Any further discussions or questions on that one? Out of the valley, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Browns.
Yeah, something like that. Right.
All right. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried, Nancy. All right, we'll get into items number 5 this morning. We'll have a executive session here after we finish the regular agenda. Approve, disapprove Kinney County Commissioner's previous minutes. Item 5 this morning. Have 2 sets of minutes there to approve for you this morning. This is January 27th, the first one that you're looking at, regular meeting. Tomorrow's City Hall's meeting. They should have that on the agenda. Street, for the street. Yeah. So I'm planning on going to that. Yeah.
Motion to approve the minutes of January 27th.
All right, motion by Commissioner Dodson to approve the minutes for January 27th as presented. Second by Commissioner Ferret. He beat you to it, Commissioner Ward. He beat you to it.
Yeah, we have a minute.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. That motion carried unanimously. Item B under 5 assessment. This morning is going to be the 31st minutes from the 31st. I'll make the motion to approve them as presented. Second by Commissioner Chavo. Any further discussion? We have to give a purpose. Sir, we have to give a purpose. Not yet, no, sir. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right, item 6 this morning is budget adjustment and review for the 2024-2025 budget is needed. We do have one budget adjustment this morning from the auditor, visiting the new columns and so forth. EMC, this is dealing with EMC, I'm sorry, not Constable, sorry. This is dealing with EMC. In the EMC line item budgets, we set aside $30,000 that we didn't accommodate and account for cell phone use and travel and so forth like that. So line item in that EMC budget, we're going to decrease line item 000 by $16,000, and the difference there would be $750 to line item 0500 cell phone. Line item 0504 was an increase there from, I believe it's, take that to $3,000. I believe that's travel and so forth. And line item 0670 is $500. Line item 0975, $12,308 increase. Line item 111104, $942, which would be the retirement, the FICA stuff out of that one, I believe. And then 1111, $100. But that's all within the EMC's budget. And when we did the budget, when we approved the budget, we just did a flat $30,000. And then 16 of them has gotten distributed. Yes. That's correct.
What is on line item 0000? What is
That was in the budget line item, that's salary. So we just did 30,000. We didn't break it down much to anything else. Because it's kind of didn't happen. So didn't know what we're going to end up with and whatnot. So out of that now comes the travel, the phone, the FICA benefits and so forth like that. So entertaining a motion to approve item 6A. So moved by Commissioner Dodson, second by Commissioner Metallo. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carried unanimously. All right, next up is item 7, approve the bills and disbursements after the Kinney County Detention Center. We do have some this morning for that one.
Move to be approved.
Those, to approve those. Item 7 by Commissioner Ward, seconded by Commissioner Barrett. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carried unanimously. Item 8 is approve the bills, ratify bills, approve all claims, bills, including payroll for Kinney County budget 2024-2025. You have those there in front of you this morning. It's Geo Secure Services on page 3. 4 from the bottom.
Yeah,
That's 26,000.
it's also on the other one. It's the way the report's run.
What?
It's just the way the report ran. I ran it open. That's Fund 35, so it's gonna be on your KPI as well. So it's only paying once. It's on the detention center.
We got Debbie here one time, merit pay, take care of that.
That can only be done by the district judge. So this body cannot actually give an auditor or an assistant auditor any merit pays. You can buy back her comp time though. And I'm happy to talk to the court about that if you want to do that, but any merit pays can only be done by the district judge as the salaries are set by him for the auditor and all assistants. My understanding was you were buying back comp time, some overtime that she had done during that time. My understanding now is that it's a merit. Unfortunately,
Rewarding her for doing your job, what you got.
right, and only the district judge can order salaries for auditors and assistant auditors.
All right, entertain a motion to approve the bills as presented. Item 8. Motion made by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Barrett. Any further discussion on item 8?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a delinquent notice for my membership dues that I submitted January 16th. Is that included in your bill? That I submitted to them. It's $150 to the association.
Tax stuff in here. Don't worry.
Like $15.
$150. Assessor. What was the association? I submitted and then it hasn't been paid. That's the one that Cheryl mentioned that needed a PO, but it wasn't required. Have you submitted that for training?
My understanding was it was already paid, and I'm happy to look into that. Sure.
So if you, did you remember the training? You don't remember them? Because you were calling me and you were checking.
Those were the instructions given to the treasurer, but I didn't submit. We don't disperse for the auditor's office. All checks are given to the
What's
treasurer.
the end result? Do you have to do this check with me? Is it issue?
I will have to check.
You don't know the top of your head?
No, would you?
Yes. So it's under one of
Yeah.
the things that
I don't see $150. There's several on here for the Association of Counties. I don't see a 150 on here.
I wasn't submitted. So
Yeah, it could have already been submitted. I don't know all of the answers off the top of my head. It must be really nice to only have one office to have to know all the info.
you know what's disappointing for it? That Cheryl is rude. She's very rude.
Okay, Mr. Rowe. Okay, we'll just,
I
we'll have to get you answered.
Yes, sir.
She doesn't
And I'll
know.
get to the one. So it could jeopardize mine. But I'm allowed to have this.
All right, motion before the court. Get back to the motion for the court to approve the bills that we have. Have a motion made by Commissioner Ward and a second by Commissioner Fair. Any further discussion amongst bills as presented?
Would it be appropriate to add
No,
the item to that? No? Okay.
All right. All those in favor of approving the bills as presented, item 8, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We'll note that Commissioner Dodson abstains from the one for his payment. All right, items pertaining to county business, item 9 this morning. Received a certified mail on a lawsuit dealing with an incident in the sheriff's office, an accident that occurred and stuff. Just informing the court, it's been turned over to the county attorney. He's notified Pat and sheriff's office and stuff. It was from a accident that occurred. What was the date of that? Do you remember? Last year, I believe. Yeah, it was July 14th, 2023. The accident occurred. And it was up there on 334 and 55. It involved a sheriff's deputy and a tractor trailer rig. So just letting y'all know that that's out there. Like I said, this tomorrow I'll attend this City Hall, City of Bracketville meeting. See what their steps are on finding the funds to split that deal with their 50/50 with us. Development Street. And then tomorrow, have quite a bit of meetings, and then I'll be out of the office Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We do have a meeting Friday at 4:00 for first responders to meet and so forth with the school. Have a visit, a walkthrough at the school and so forth on Friday. Just something that's part of their EA requirements. I just have a meeting and so forth, go through their procedures and so stuff like that. But that'll be Friday. I should be back tonight. Feel that, taking that. Other than that, you guys have anything from the table? Regarding the day, do we need to? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in executive session. With personnel. Yes, ma'am, Mr. Jordan.
Yes, sir. I would say the certificate of election for the officials, can I have those?
For everybody that's up this time around.
Just before you go into executive session, so.
Okay. All right, Ms. West, Ms. Westbrook, of course, your support.
I have several items that I would like to address concerning grants. First of all, on Stone Garden. I would like to comment on the Stone Garden grant. The grant starts on 1 March and ends 28 February. During the year, I monitor all of the salary. The majority of what we have is for overtime for county deputies and augmentees. We have very little money left for fuel. Before the end of every year, we've used up all of that fuel that's allocated for Stone Garden. And then it has reverted to the county to pay for that fuel. 5 to 6 months into the grant, I'm notified by Border Patrol, Del Rio sector is who I work with, that we have one opportunity to do an adjustment or to submit what's called a fragmentary order, FRAGO, to adjust our salaries based on deputies. They're programmed for a certain number of hours every year. If the deputies are not working those hours, that frees up money that can be used for other purposes. So when the FRAGO goes in, I've monitored the salary through 6 months, and I also have to take a high estimate what will be needed for the second 6 months to ensure that we don't move any money or request money be moved to purchase equipment and cut the time for the deputies to work short. So there is a possibility every year some money will be left. Last year, there was a lot of money left in the Stone Garden grant that didn't go back to the state. It was never here in the first place. These are all reimbursable grants. So there's no money left on the table, as has been the statement that's been said. This year, due to all the other purchase orders that we've made through OLS and other ones, when the money was freed up, we have been under pressure from Border Patrol for several years to purchase handheld X-ray devices. They're called backscatters. The reason they're called a backscatter is because the image that is seen by using a handheld X-ray machine is scattered back basically to an iPad. These are handheld. They don't see through walls. They don't see through vehicles. They don't track people. They're to look for money, for drugs, for weapons. With having 2 of them in this county, and this year we did have the opportunity to free up the money, $100,000 that is not being used, will not be used through the end of the grant. I made the mistake. I got the quote. I contacted Safeware, I believe it's on buy board. I know I've never been provided any information about what buy board is, where it is, what it is, anything. But I contacted them. I was given the 2 people to contact by Maverick County deputy who handles their grants and also by Border Patrol, specifically to what we needed to order. I got the quote, created the purchase order, submitted the purchase order for signature. A copy is always returned to me for my files. I made the mistake of sending that purchase order directly into the manufacturer of the devices. Each device is $44,200, I believe. So the total purchase order is $99,060. I truly believed each piece of equipment had to be under $50,000. So that is my mistake. Believe me, I have in this last 2 weeks read everything as far as purchasing policy. At no time has anybody met with me to discuss what I do and do not do on grants, how it is done or anything else. Anyway, that's my apology to the court. Everybody in this room has been told numerous times $50,000 in Bible, so we all understand that, especially me. Other items I would like to address on and clarify as far as my responsibilities and what I do. The first thing I want to clarify is that I have not mismanaged any of the items in the grants. In a meeting that I was held with Ms. Jones and Diane to provide my comments back on the audit, the first thing was said to me is, I believe the grants have been mismanaged. That is not so. An insinuation, in case anybody doesn't know what that means, is to imply negative or bad things being done. I have not mismanaged any of the grants in the 7.5 years I have worked for this county. The grant manager coordinates with I coordinate with the treasurer to get all payroll information to file every month. I ensure that the percentages in there do not go over by a penny, how much is paid to an employee, so that we don't go over on any of our grants to collect more money than we can collect legitimately. I also collect from or obtain from the auditor's office. I obtain a vendor report for each month. It shows every bill that the auditor has paid for that month. That is used to file budget line by budget line. Nothing can be filed in a grant that is not in an approved budget line item. If you wanted me to order a vehicle tomorrow and you showed up with an ATV and said, charge this, my response would be absolutely not. A week ago, I was asked if we could purchase an extra LGS license. When I asked what it was for, I was told that it was to put on a public computer so that the public could, in fact, look up birth certificates, death certificates, etc. No, it has nothing to do with OLS. Everything that we purchase on this grant has to pertain to OLS. The first 2 years of our grant, which started in 2021, I told everybody, you can't order staples, you can't order staplers, you can't order anything that is not specifically stated. I found out a 1.5 years ago that was wrong. We could have purchased all of those items used in this county. But our county feeling was that the county needed to also pitch in and help out with this grant. Every year we've had money returned on this grant. I don't want to say money returned. Let me back up. Every year we have not used money that has been allocated by the state for our use. If I get a little wild here, it's because I have an 8th Irish in me, so it may take over. So I apologize for that. Supposed complaints. I was sent an email telling me that I was not doing financial status reports right, that the point of contacts at the state that I deal with, James Zild, Magna Torres, Carolyn Butler, etc., were not happy and they had complaints, and that I had sent in FSRs that were not correct. That is not true. I asked for the names of those people so I could contact them. And I was told, well, shoot by golly, let's just wrap this up and put it away. That's not the answer. The next day, Sheriff Coe contacted in a telephone conference call with my 3 points of contact their supervisor, Jason Hahn, and their senior supervisor, Heather, I believe Fairfield, not Heather Compton, they confirmed with Sheriff Coe they did not have issues with what I am doing on the financial status reports. And if Sheriff Coe would like to make comments on that, he's welcome to. He also specifically asked them if I had in any way at all written over or modified budget adjustments, financial status reports, and they said no, because it's all automated. There's nothing that can be done. A couple other things I want to talk about is the audit. Things have been said to people that I'm aware of that, well, we don't know if we're ever going to get another OLS grant because the audit is so screwed up. Not true. The state came here in May. They notified us probably in March that they wanted to audit the OLS grant from 1 September 23 through 30 March of 24. That would be the first 6 months of our previous year's grant. During that period of time, $979,505.59 was reimbursed to this county. Every bit of that money was legitimate. In the grant findings, they found the two major issues were issues with the general ledger, which is also known as the chart of accountability. It did not match what I submitted in financial status reports. And that is true because in Fund 173 on the chart of accounts, general ledger, there were things posted in there that were not OLS, but none of those items were filed to the state. I actually filed to get back less than what was in the general ledger. That was the major issue, one of the major issues. The second major issue was not having a complete inventory. As you all know, in 2022, 2023, we had an individual hired that worked 20 hours a week for both the budget office, the treasurer's office, and the auditor's office. She completed a very thorough inventory to include listing every single spike strip that we ordered, which it doesn't even have a serial number. That inventory resides on the work computer in the auditor's office. All previous grants, audits, to include Stone Garden, reside in a file folder on that computer under a title called Grant Audits. Miss O'Keefe posted everything that she sent is posted on that computer, listed in that computer for review. In 2023, Stone Garden had completed an audit on Stone Garden, which is routine. Every couple of years they do. They look at 3 or 4 months. They want to know the salary. They ask for pay sheets for routine deputies or whatever. They look at them. And at the end of that, they said we needed an up-to-date inventory policy. That inventory policy was written by Danetta O'Keefe and myself. The responsibility for the overall responsibility for the inventory is the auditor's office. Every department has to keep their inventory. And every time in the time we've had OLS or Stone Garden, when a piece of equipment has been ordered, I have told everybody that contacts me, you have to keep your inventory. Write down your inventory. The policy states each department will keep their inventory, and once a year, I believe in June or July, it's supposed to be reported to the auditor's office as the overall holder of that inventory. So that is the policy. There is a 20-hour-a-week position in the auditor's office to work to handle anything that's OLS related, including that inventory. I don't write policy for the county for fuel or for inventory. The grant follows those policies, just like the overtime policy. I don't write an overtime policy. We have to upload those policies to the grants. The audit itself, the other findings in the audit out of the $979,505.59, the total amount they found that they considered disallowed personnel costs were $2,581.10. Most of that has been justified. There was a problem, not a problem. There was a conversion from manual timesheets In January of 24 to electronic, as you all know. In September, we were still doing manual timesheets. The 2 months and that 6 months the auditors looked at was September and February. September 15th and 30th, payroll registers, February 9th and 24th. In the one in September, it was all manual. The one in February, there was some conflicting information between the automated timesheets and the manual that several people, and I think there were 10 people, had submitted. One finding was that somebody's name wasn't it was illegible, so they re-signed. I created an affidavit for everybody to sign stating that they had worked the number of hours that was on those timesheets. The issue was the time clock went into place in January. The 9 February payroll would have been for time worked in January. People were not familiar with the time clock. They were not using it properly, or they didn't want to use it, or whatever the reason was. Everybody now uses it. So Diane submitted both the electronic timesheet and the manual timesheet. In one case, one individual shows 76.25 hours of work on one sheet, but she was paid 80 hours. That's because the difference, and Ms. Jones explained that in her response back, the difference was comp time she was paid. The audit itself, those are the items. So $2,581.10 is 0.00265% and $979,505.59. As soon as they review our response, corrective actions for anything else they find, we will make those corrections and then we move on with it. Our funds will be lifted and we can continue to file financial status reports. Last week, unfortunately, I was in the middle of a root canal during both meetings or held, but there were several comments made. When I worked for the government, I worked in the G2 security. I had a top secret SBI clearance. Confidentiality was a must. I don't think that things that happen in this county, in this court, need to be shared with outside auditors outside this county. That's my thoughts and feelings on it. Anybody can do what they want, but there's a level of confidentiality that is stated in the employee handbook. A comment was made by Judge Andrade that we had left $500,000 on the table from our last grant. In fact, we did not use $500,000, but it was not money we ever had in the first place. Money is referred to as free grant money. Grant money is not free. It is an allocation by the state, and we are reimbursed for anything we use. So we can use up to that amount. We purchased every single thing we possibly needed last year. We needed much less last year than we did the first 2 years because we were given so much in those first 2 years. As a matter of fact, the first year was 3.5, the second year was a supplement of 1.9, and we didn't even use all of that. It was also stated in here and insinuated that we shouldn't wait till the last minute to get a quote. I've never waited to the last minute to get a quote, and especially not on a vehicle, because vehicles take a full year to get a police pursuit vehicle. A comment was made about overtime, that OLS does not like us working overtime. That is true. Last year we had no overtime funds. The first 2 years we did. 6 months into last year's, because we had money that freed up in several categories, we were able to get some overtime for each department to use. There is no reason to hire it. The comment was made, OLS prefers we hire more people than do overtime. I agree overtime is more expensive. However, the little amount of overtime that is used in this county by OLS employees or county employees working on OLS is so small, we cannot justify hiring more people. Some of the items that out of that 500,000, and how does that money, how do we end up with money that we don't use? In several instances, their salaries. People quit, they leave. If somebody quits 6 months into the grant, their salary that was programmed for them is no longer used. So that money can then be used in a budget adjustment. All budget adjustments are approved by my point of contact at the state, James Zeal, and then it goes forward to two other entities there to approve those budget adjustments. I am not increasing the budget in any way, shape, or form. I track what the departments want, what they need, and I keep a list. And when they need something, then I apply for it. A budget adjustment was submitted last month to use OLS funds to send 2 OLS deputies to an OLS task force. There was a travel amount of money already programmed. I had to do a budget adjustment to specify each one of those people line by line, send it to the state, they approved it. It's not something to be approved here. I then notified after it was approved, Chief Garcia, you can do the paperwork to send your people. It could not wait to be budget adjustments, and I've talked to Mr. Ward. Budget adjustments don't need to come to the county this meeting to be approved because I'm not increasing the budget. The state approves it. In 5 years of doing this grant, I was asked at one point to send in an insurance claim for something, and I told them it wouldn't work. I sent it in anyway, and sure enough, the state said, no, it will not be approved. I'm not going to ask for something in a budget adjustment that I know is not related to OLS. But to say that the Commissioner's Court needs to decide, my apologies to you, whether or not you use OLS money for an OLS task force for OLS people, and you approve it, and then I send it to the state. If you disapproved it, the state's the one that controls those funds. There were other comments that I don't want to get into because I'm all rattled at this moment in that audit and that public hearing or that meeting, that both meetings last week. But some of the other items where money is freed up, my salary, I did not use approximately $14,000 that was listed for my salary last year. I only record the money that I use, the hours that I use. There was $8,400 for printers, for vehicle printers. They didn't need them. That free day for $8,400. Mr. Andrade to say we had free money to leave $500,000 on the table. It's not free money. And out of that $500,000, I would like to point out that approximately $80,000 of that was money that Mr. Andrade did not use out of a budget line in our grant. So there's a percentage there. So the point that I'm trying to make there is pointing the finger at somebody. You got 3 pointing back at you. If anybody has a problem with what I'm doing, I would appreciate them contacting me, sitting down with me. I don't know of one person in this county that has had anybody sit down, ask them what they're doing, how they're doing it, or try to explain anything. I am not opposed to change. Change is not hard, as the comment was stated. Change is good. Change needs to happen, but it can also be appropriately made where people are aware of changes and they're brought up to date on things that need to be taken care of. And I apologize if I've offended any of the commissioners or the judge in what I'm saying, but I just needed to get these things out and say what needs to be said. I have never approached or said such things in a public meeting in my life, but it's time to clear the air and know that I have not mismanaged the grants. And I thank you for your time.
Carla, I just want to say, and I think I speak for the court by saying this, that we're very confident in you and the job you do.
Thank you.
And you've worked very hard and been very diligent. And we know your integrity is very high, and that you have kept us informed and done a very good job of that. And frankly, we all know this. We don't know what we'd do without you, because this has been the OLS program has been a big, big deal, and it required a lot of attention, and you've been willing to do that. And you've certainly, again, I want to say you have our confidence and appreciation and a great deal of gratitude. So
I
thank you.
appreciate that. And at the same time, every one of us is is replaceable. I mean, I know that within the next year, 2 years, I will probably say enough is enough. I have worked 4/5 of my life. I have started working at 15, so I'll add that up and see how old I am. Um, not not quite 4/5. Let me redo that so you can take a couple years off my age there. But I appreciate it. I take my job seriously. I like working and I like helping people, and I don't appreciate not only myself but other people being made to look stupid. I want to say the word stupid, and I shouldn't say that word. Anyway, I appreciate your comments and your support because I will do what I can for this county. Thank you.
Your answer. Thank you.
All right. With that being said, we'll take a short break. We'll go into executive session. Personnel matters, closed meeting, and pursuant to 551.4. Government code in order to discuss personnel matters. And in a executive session pursuant to 551.071 and 551.121. Texas Government Code consultation with attorney. Consultant seek advice from the attorney regarding any matter on the agenda or so forth. So we'll take a short break, 5 minutes. Recess at 10:45.